In this video, I'm going to give you some hope and some tips if you're a discouraged caregiver. So take 4 or 5 minutes for yourself and maybe put in some headphones if you can. Feeling discouraged when you're juggling a very full life already, on top of being a caregiver for a loved one who's losing autonomy, whatever the level of responsibility you have for them, being discouraged at times is completely normal. The first thing to remember is that all emotions are fleeting. Have you always felt discouraged with your loved one? I doubt it. Have you known some happy moments of caregiving? It's possible. So there's hope. This feeling of discouragement, it's not going to last forever. I've also felt moments of discouragement when I was caring for both of my parents who were declining and they were living far away. And the members of my support community, your support within your reach, also face moments of discouragement. But having the support of other people who are going through similar things is really helpful. And also just feeling heard, really heard, is already huge. My second tip for you is to find some emotional support. Now, maybe you have friends or family with who you feel comfortable sharing, but I've also met a number of people, both personally and professionally, who have felt ill at ease at some point because it seemed like maybe it was getting a bit too much for the other people. And that's exactly why I created your support within your reach. I've met several people who have told me that they wished something like this had existed when they were going through this. And honestly, I feel kind of the same. The third tip I have for you is to connect with some happy memories that you have with your loved one. Maybe you can close your eyes for a moment and connect with the feelings in your body when you bring back that memory. And remember what you could see, what you could hear, maybe what you could smell, and spend a few moments with that memory and the memory of the feelings in your body. I bet the discouragement has gone into the background for a bit there. Now, of course, maybe it's only for a few seconds, but that's a breather for you. And also, it's quite possible that you don't come back to the same level of discouragement that you were feeling before, and that might already be a huge win. In fact, I encourage you to reflect a bit on what level of discouragement is actually doable for you that you can keep living your life with. I often tell my clients that if they have tools to reduce their stress or discouragement, or insert any emotion that you don't like in there, so if you have tools to lower it inside that doable range, that's enough. Of course, we all would like to not feel any more discouragement, sadness, stress, or, all those other emotions that we don't like, but that's just not very realistic. The fourth tip I have for you is to think if there's something you could do to make the situation less discouraging. I remember when my mom had dementia, she had this habit of nervously and messily stitching up her old stockings, and my dad found that extremely discouraging. When my dad was in the hospital with yet another surgery, I took my mom with me to run some errands, and we went into an arts and crafts store. They had some cross-stitch patterns, and so I let her pick a couple. That would be stitching, right? And the first one she picked was an Easter chicken. It was actually Easter weekend. That afternoon, she and I did that Easter chicken. I showed her how to do the stitches. She did the lines, and I did the turns. The next day, we went to see my dad in the hospital, and I showed him what my mom and I had done the afternoon, the day before. He was moved to tears. Now, isn't that so much better than discouragement? So what action could you take to reduce your discouragement? And I'd love it if you could share your thoughts in the comments to give ideas to others. Now, of course, cross-stitching is not for everyone, but if you're into meditation, maybe you can take 15 minutes for that. If you like to go outside in nature, maybe you could go for a walk. Maybe you're hungry or thirsty. It's easy to ignore our needs when we're a caregiver, especially in the middle of our busy lives. But if you don't do anything to reduce your feeling of discouragement, you run the risk of having it go so far that you're going to want to just give up, and that would be even worse. If you feel you're getting close to that point, or you just want a bit more support, why don't you watch the next video that's coming up on your screen right now? I'll be talking about how to handle those feelings of wanting to give up. So click on the image and I'll see you there.